Welcome to Crypto Simulation Theory. I am the Gaussian Snake. Tonight I'm going to talk to you about FOFAR, a project on Ethereum that I've held for a very long time. I'm on the team, but despite all that, my analysis will be unbiased. I will strictly focus on the technicals and tell you where I think we are and where I think we're going. This is just my opinion. This does not reflect the team or their opinions in any kind of way. It is just simply not financial advice. So you can take my analysis with a grain of salt or you can take it seriously. That's completely up to you. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started. Just as a reminder, which FOFAR am I talking about? Well, there only is one, a legitimate one, and that is the FOFAR on Ethereum. And I will put the link into the website. FOFAR is the last official boys club Memecoin. We have a big announcement coming this week, so be sure to join the FOFAR Telegram if you want to learn more about that. That's about all I'll say about the project for now. I'm going to move on to the chart and talk about what's going on there. They often say in crypto, the chart is the best marketing tool. And that's no different with FOFAR than it is from any other chart. So let's just go ahead and see FOFAR on the daily time frame, kind of zoom in here. And we're going to look at what's kind of going on. I have a Gaussian channel turned on for a reason. So there was sort of a battle here at the 0.5 fib that unfortunately did not manifest into a breakout, and it has since come down. So that is bearish, at least in the short term. You can see that we had an attempt to get to the 618 twice. That failed, and then we put in a lower high. Again, that is, this is like a rising wedge. You could almost say that this bear flag that I talked about did in fact validate. It just was a lot longer than I thought that it was. So I talked about a bear flag being here. The bear flag has indeed started to break down. Or you could look at this as a head and shoulders formation that has broken down. My inverse head and shoulders formation for the time being is invalidated. So that is the head here. And you can kind of pick your shoulder maybe here, or even, some people were going even further out. So yeah, I don't see an inverse head and shoulders really playing out right now. I do see a temporary bearish formation. However, I will say this, I think it's going to be the last bear leg that we have for this project for quite a little while before bullishness takes over in a big way. And so where do I see price going? Well, if we zoom out, you can kind of get a feel for this, project. What I love about this project, it is truly organic. So there's no, crazy manipulation going on behind the scenes. And that's why one of the many reasons why I love this project. And you can kind of see how a healthy organic chart develops, So we had our all-time high, roughly like almost 9 months ago, if I'm counting, or not quite that long ago. I'm bad at counting. As a math guy, that's a little bit embarrassing. We'll just say back in May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, about 7 months ago. And then we had a downtrend, a very clear downtrend, and put in a really nice bottom. I will say this is a very bullish sign, even considering what's going on right now. I am still macro bullish on this project, and it's not just because I hold it. Believe me, if I started to get bearish on this thing, I would dump it, just like any other project. But I have no reason to be bearish. What I'm seeing happen is a really sharp jump up, right? And then a really sharp jump down. And then kind of a not so sharp jump up to the 618, which is such a common place to get a rejection. And I think we're heading down to the 236, possibly even underneath it. And I think that is where FOFAR will likely find another turning point. And I can give you some evidence behind why I think this. The Gaussian channel is one piece of evidence, going from green to red, from green, and then back to red. And we got rejected at the upper boundary of the Gaussian channel, which just so happens to correspond to the 0.5 fib. It is very common right before a massive pump for a project to test its 236 fib. It may not have to go under it. I know that sometimes it will go under a little bit. And what that's doing is basically just testing these lows, right? It's coming back and testing it in a much larger way to make sure that there's room for a proper bounce upwards, which I think is going to happen. And I'll talk about what some of my targets are for FOFAR in the beginning of next year, because I think that's when a lot of this bullishness is going to take place. Unfortunately, I feel like the rest of this year is likely to be bearish for this project. And the bullishness, I think, will pick up probably in January, if I had to guess, and especially as we head into, sort of January, February timeframe, which is totally in line with what happened with Pepe, and we can even show that later in the video. So yeah, let's go look at some other things that kind of lead me to believe that bearish price action right now, at least for December, is probably more likely than bullish price action. Although, like I said, I'm not bearish on the project at all. I think the 236 fib is going to represent a major springboard going into 2025. I'm going to bring the Williams alligator indicator in to give you another perspective of where I think we currently are. And it's really not altogether that different from what happened to Bitcoin in some ways. Like it's in terms of where we are right now. So, FOFAR was very bullish in Q2 of 2024. No doubt about that. Straight up bull action. The alligator was awake. So when the lips are above the teeth, above the jaw, green are the lips, red is the teeth. And don't ask me, I didn't make this up. That's bullish. And then we saw a very clear bear trend. There's no denying that the bear trend took place from, I would say, throughout most of Q3. And then there was a very unconvincing bull trend. I mean, look at the alligator kind of like flip-flopping around here. And now we would say that the alligator is sleeping. So this is actually more of a crab trend than it is a bear trend. And oftentimes you get a crab trend before you go to blast off to outer space. So we would say the alligator is sleeping. And that just means that the chart kind of alternates between bearish and bullish. So another trip down to the 236 would actually establish a really nice double bottom. So we took a trip to the 236 briefly on November 20th. And I think we're going to take another trip there relatively soon. I think it will happen by the end of the year. It could happen this week. That's just my speculation. It could come in the form of a slightly higher low, but I think we're heading back down here. Okay. And if you pull up the Gruner EMA, which is sort of like a bull market support band, remember this is all on a daily time frame. We are currently in a bull market cross, a bullish cross, but I think it's going to convert to a bearish cross pretty soon, and it will be very short-lived, as we expect to be during a consolidation phase or a crab trend. So, well, when I say I'm bearish, I just mean I think FOFAR is going to take another trip back down. Short-term bearish, though, right? So, can I say that I'm like neutral? Because that would probably be even more accurate. I'm feeling very neutral. How about in terms of moving averages? What are we doing with those? And you'll kind of see some interesting stuff here. So we even have a 200. Wow, look at that. So I'm going to pull up the 20. These are again daily moving averages. We'll take a closer look at what's going on. We did get above the 100, which is, so let me just give you the colors. Yellow is the 20 day. The blue is the 50 day. The white is the 100 day. The red is the 200 day. So what ended up happening is, just to show you during a bull trend what this looks like. I mean, we didn't have all these moving averages, but you can see we're clearly above the 20. The 50 formed. See how the 50 was above the 20. So when you have a higher term above a lower term, that's generally bearish. And then we had a brief bounce. This is just a brief bounce, right? And that was just a rising wedge. And then down we went. And you can see that the 100 kind of served as, a resistance area. We did get above it, and things were looking pretty good. Although look at how the 20 was kind of crisscrossing here a lot. And, then we ended up back below it again. And so it's really just crabbing, right? So this is the 200-day HMA, and we're coming back beneath it now. And I think like I said, we may put in a higher low. It is possible. I'm open-minded to any of that. Just, I think we're going to tap or get near this red zone again. We could even put in a lower low on a wick. I don't think we will on a daily close, but any of that's possible. So somewhere in here, I think we're heading down. And I think that's it in terms of the bearishness. I think at that point, things are going to start to become much more bullish, and we're going to see a major change in structure in this chart in early 2025. And I'll give you some, further justifications for that. I always do a very thorough job with my analyses. Okay, this is the ADX and DI in the middle. And whenever you have the signal line, which is in white, cross the green line, which is the bullish directional index, that's bearish. So we can see the red creeping up, green going down, probably, but look at the trend strength is only about 26.3. It's weaker than it was in the past when we had a stronger bear trend. This is a stochastic oscillator. It's clearly going down. Okay. And I think it's going to need to get down into this region before we start to consider going back up. Could that happen by next week? Sure, it could. Could we start to have a bullish bounce before the end of the year and start to work our way towards an all-time high by January? Sure, it could happen, but I think we're going down first. The stochastic oscillator, ADX and DI have got me thinking that. Okay, Bitcoin pair strength is down, so Bitcoin is outperforming FOFAR right now. Totally okay. This is expected to happen if we're sort of on the last, minor bearish leg. Like you can see, here's a flagpole. Here's the bear flag. It's starting to break down. And who knows where we find our bottom. But I think, like I said, I think that's probably going to be about it. Okay, so on the 3-day time frame, the inverse head and shoulder on the daily time frame sort of looks like it was invalidated, right? We still technically have an inverse head and shoulders on the 3-day time frame. And this is sort of an interesting case for me of like, well, what happens next? I unfortunately think it's going to break down. Um, could we get a new shoulder out of this? Sure, we absolutely could, and I think that's what's likely to happen. So again, like, it's just my opinion, so please don't feel like hurt or offended. I hold a lot of FOFAR. It's a big position for me. So for me to be bearish on it does not like benefit me in any kind of way, right? It's just honest. But I this is basically what I see happening. I think I don't have my fibs with me here, but I think I can't tell you exactly how this is going to shake out or shape, but I think basically we're going to see a drop into the red zone. It could be a lower low. I'm open-minded to that. Could be a higher low, open-minded to that as well. But I think that might, kind of form the shoulder. I mean, for the shoulder to be valid, we need a higher low. Oh my gosh, what is happening here? Let's redraw this. This is a beast. Oh, yeah. I'm not very good with these tools, am I? Let's say it's a higher low. Okay, that's possible. And then maybe we start to like, crab around here and sort of trend up and test that 618, maybe get a little bit of a rejection and then a surprise little blast off or something like that. I could see something like that playing out where you still kind of have a shoulder here, right? This is a very bullish formation. It's temporarily been invalidated, but what I want you to also notice is look at the width of these Bollinger Bands and how they're compressing. You're getting price compression. That usually precedes a major move. Now, it's probably going to compress some more. Let's look at where the lower boundary of the Bollinger Band is on the 3-day. It's right above the red zone. So that's why I'm saying a higher low is plausible, but we could also wick down and, get into the very top of this red zone. That could happen. But I am expecting a rollover here. That's generally what you're going to see when you print a red engulfing candle like we are doing right now. Granted, this is not closed yet, so we don't know how it's going to close, but I'm not too optimistic that this, breaks the upside like, tomorrow. But I don't think we're going to spend that much time. Look how little time I think we're going to spend going down before we start to really manifest a strong change in trend. And I want to bring something to your attention that I've talked about before, which is the market psychology cheat sheet. Now, you cannot tell me, I'm going to blow this up for a minute, that our chart is not more or less following this. Like, and I don't even think that this is confirmation bias. Like, I think this is legit. Our chart is like legit following this pattern. Like, you have your initial bull rally, and this is a very strong rally that took us from God knows what to our all-time high of 0.0004 wrapped ETH, and then we had look at this bounce here, complacency. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. And then look at this, like it almost follows it so perfectly that it's almost creepy, right? And then here, you got your crab trend. We're in a crab trend. That's what this is. It's not a bear trend or a bull trend. It is a crab trend. And crab trends have ups and they have downs where the price sort of, sorts itself out. We have compression. And I think once we finally do start to go up, which I think is going to happen pretty soon, like if you can just wait a few weeks, I think it's going to happen. Take advantage of this time and DCA some FOFAR at lower price levels. You never know. I mean, who knows, again, if this is actually going to play out. But wow, look at how close this chart looks to an incomplete psychology. And then we're going to go through this again. It probably won't look exactly the same, but, this is just psychology. And so I think you should take that seriously when you're looking at this chart and that we're just kind of on the tail end of it right before we have a nice disbelief rally. And what would be super bullish for FOFAR is if Ethereum could start outperforming Bitcoin in a really meaningful way. And this is ETH versus Bitcoin. I mean, this is on the 3-day as well. And look at that breakdown off of this trend line and just straight into my red zone. I've had this red zone up for like almost a year now. So between 0.03 and 0.04 Bitcoin, we're still in the red zone. We're still in the red. Are we carving out a little inverse head and shoulders here? Shoulder, head, maybe another shoulder. I think it's possible. Yeah, I think we're holding the 0.5 fib level for ETH Bitcoin really well. We bottomed potentially near the 382. I do think we'll come back down and test this at some point. But my point, the point I'm trying to make here is while ETH Bitcoin is likely making the turn here into more bullish consolidation, I think it's going to have to crab a little bit before it heads like straight up or something like that. That is going to be good for coins like FOFAR as Ethereum starts to outperform Bitcoin, because FOFAR is on Ethereum. FOFAR is denominated in Ethereum. So whatever Ethereum does, FOFAR is going to kind of follow, and it's starting to kind of, turn the wheel here a little bit. And we've also seen lately that the money ball has made its way to Base. Okay, so Base is a layer 2 on Ethereum, which is has altcoins of its own on there, and there's a lot of Base meme coins that are taking off. The money ball will make its way to us. Trust me, it will. But like I wanted to show you something with Pepe and kind of like give you some perspective. If this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, and maybe you've never seen this before, if you've been following me for a long time, there we go. I just need to be a little bit patient. Look how Pepe's been flagging, by the way. Looks similar to FOFAR, doesn't it? I want to show you Pepe in its early days. And this is something I want to compare FOFAR to. Very similar chart pattern. Another very clean coin on Ethereum, denominated in wrapped ether at the time. This is denominated in USD, but it's okay. The trend's still the same. We had our massive rally, and then a breakdown, and then a crab trend. Just like what FOFAR is doing, a crab trend. And we had one more, look at how we came below the 236 fib, and then we had one more drop back in February. Okay, and this was 9 months after Pepe had been created. And by the way, Pepe was created in the same month FOFAR was created, just 1 year earlier. So might we have to wait till February to get this crazy uptrend? It's possible. I don't think so. I think FOFAR will pop before then, but I have my eyes on a January/February pop. And then you just get like maybe a week and a half of up, and boom, you're like consolidating again. These periods are very rare, right? They're rare. Most of the time you're either going down or going sideways, and then right back into consolidation. And so how high did Pepe go? It went to its 1.414 and then up to its 1.618. I think this is exactly where FOFAR is going to go. So we're going to return to that. I think FOFAR is going to follow the Pepe chart very closely in terms of its behavior. And then look, another head and shoulders, boom, down we went to the 1.272. We retested it. See that? Double bottom, retest, and then off again we go to who knows where, maybe the 2 fib or the 2.272. I'm not sure. Diminishing returns, of course. We're not going to be able to go have as dramatic a move. And I think something like this is likely to happen to FOFAR later in 2025. Okay, just to kind of like give you, to frame the discussion. Like I think FOFAR is like a year behind Pepe in terms of like its price action. So let's go back to FOFAR now and, kind of like see, okay, if FOFAR is about to pull a move like what Pepe pulled, what are we in for? So let's go ahead and turn the fibs back on. I'm going to do that. And if thank you guys for having patience with me and my awkwardness with TradingView. So there it is. Okay, my fibs. Let's go ahead and take a look. Where's the 1.618 and what kind of X move is that from here? I think we are likely to do something like what Pepe did, which means like maybe in February or January. I can't tell you when, but let's be patient, right? It took Pepe all the way till February. Maybe it takes FOFAR till February. I don't think it will, but maybe it does. Let's just be open to that possibility. I think late December to early to mid-January is more likely though. If we get up here, that's the 1.414 fib. What kind of move is that in terms of X's from where we are right now? Let me turn this arrow off. Okay. I'm going to do a measured move. Let's see. I think my magnet, do a strong magnet. We'll see how this works out. The strong magnet sometimes works against me. And we will go, 1.414. That is about a 13.5x. That would take us to 0.00012 wrapped ether. So we're at let me get my calculator out. We're currently sitting, I think, around a $3.5 million market cap. So if we were to do a 13.5x, that would put us at about 47.25 million, or we'll just say 50 million. And let's say FOFAR consolidates just a little bit more. Bull legs do tend to have 2 phases to it, and then we hit the 1.618. What kind of move is the 1.618 from where we are right now, roughly speaking? The 1.618 is a 24x, and I do think we'll hit that. So, in fact, yeah. So That puts us around 84 million. $84 million market cap. So that's like a 24x. Could we go above the 1.618? I think we could. We absolutely could. Do I think we will? I don't know. But, I'm just going off what Pepe did. Pepe seemed to kind of range between the 1.272 and 1.618 for a little while. But so I think it's kind of unlikely that FOFAR does any more than like a 30x from here. Like a 30x would be pretty aggressive, taking FOFAR to about 100 million. I think it could wick to 100 million, but I think 100 million might be a place where we see a little bit of a slowdown. And then we see some dumpage, selling maybe at 100 million because it's a psychological point. It doesn't have to happen that way, though. There are charts that just keep going. And this is a massive bull flag, but Pepe also had a massive bull flag, and it only made it to between its 1.414 and 1.618. And it took about another 7 or 8 months for it to, jump up to the 1.786. But how high do I think FOFAR can go if it follows what Pepe is doing? Well, let's see what Pepe does. But I do think FOFAR can make it all the way to the 2.618 by the very end of the cycle. And what kind of X is that going to give us? For those of you who are patient enough to handle that, let's just say like November, December of 2025, heading in, to 2026. Wow, that's a really big move. No, I don't know about that. Yeah, probably not. That's a 3. Oh, wait, no, that could happen. Okay, sorry. Yeah, 363x. No, that could happen. Absolutely. That'd be like a $1.3 billion FOFAR. Yeah, I think that could happen by the end of next year. I just turned my camera off by accident. Let me just get it back on. Okay. So yeah, I think that could happen by the end of 2025. There could be, another impulsive wave up, or maybe 2 more impulsive waves up. I think that's about the highest I could see FOFAR going, based on just simple chart structure alone. But there is always the case where it exceeds expectations and starts to head even higher, somewhere between the 2.618 and 3.618. And it's happened before. If FOFAR really catches on and kind of takes on a life of its own, who knows where it could go? It could be somewhere in between here. I mean, this would be a 953x. That's like $3 billion FOFAR. It could happen. Don't say it can't happen. If Pepe goes to 100 billion and the meme arcade just absolutely explodes and catches on, this could happen. It's just not going to all happen at once. We're going to range. There's going to be periods where we range, and that's just normal. And we'll see ranging. I suspect our first area of major ranging is likely to take place where Pepe's took place, which is between the 1.272 and the 1.618. And I suspect we could range there for a while before breaking out to these higher levels in a final blow off top or something like that later in the year. So those are my thoughts. The market's going to do whatever it's going to do. I can only speak to the probabilities, but look how early we are, folks. Like, if you're getting like wrapped up in this day-to-day up and down of FOFAR and you're getting discouraged, I want you to zoom out for a minute and look at how much further we have to go. Like, the party's barely even started. This is a bull flag. It's going to break upwards. Okay. Like, just look at it. Inverse head and shoulders hasn't fully been invalidated. It's okay if it does. I still think up is the likely direction in Q1 of 2025. If it happens before then, great. I'm positioned. I'm ready for it. But, I'm in this asset for the long haul. I think this thing's going to have just as much life to it as Pepe does. And I think you're going to see some really explosive moves come later. Are there any other charts we might be able to look at to get an idea of what FOFAR might do over the long haul? Maybe Dogecoin. This comes to mind as one of the oldest meme coins, and now it's a utility coin. I wouldn't even really call it a meme coin anymore. Let's go take a look and see if the chart structure looks a little bit similar. I don't remember if it does or it doesn't, but we'll just look at it anyways. If you've been following me and staying in this video this whole time, you are going to be so prepared for this bull market. All right, this is Dogecoin. We're going back to its inception in 2013. It does look a lot like FOFAR. It really does. Another healthy organic chart. Let's go ahead and draw some fibs. And these are fibs from the first year. And this could give you an idea of what FOFAR could do over the long haul. So Dogecoin, it looks like it reached during its full bull cycle. I mean, look at all this ranging that took place. Like, imagine going through all this and how painful it must have been. We're talking like you had your first really big run in 2013, and then 2014, we had to spend, I mean, we spent a lot of time underneath the 236 fib. We spent like almost 2 years under the 236 fib. FOFAR's only spent a few months under it. And then look, we came up to what? The 618, almost 0.5. Okay, 0.5. Came down, came to 382 and ranged. Look at ranging is what happens before what? Breakout. And this breakout happened in 2017. We got to the 1.272 with a drop all the way to the 618. Okay, folks, the 618 and then another blast off to the 1.618. The 1.618 is really an area where you got to look to for some kind of like intermediate top. Now that marked the cycle top for Dogecoin. Could that mark the cycle top for FOFAR? You know, for a $90 million, $75 million, $100 million FOFAR, it could. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it couldn't, but that depends on what Bitcoin's doing. Depends on what Ethereum's doing. And I don't think that the Bitcoin bull run is going to be over in January or February. So I'm counting on another consolidation period. But look at this. I mean, so if you're looking at the old fibs, Doge pretty much spent years testing the old breakout from way back in the beginning before it blasted off to 2.618 fib. Okay, that took a whole cycle to happen. That's why I'm saying I don't know if FOFAR can make it to the 2.618 in this cycle. It could, because this was during like, you know, a bear market, and we're in a bull market, so it's not going to behave exactly the same. But then what did Doge do? It just kind of ranged above the 2 fib, and now it's at the 2.618. And I think, and this is all relative to 2013. I mean, this has taken years. Now, what is different about Dogecoin that FOFAR doesn't have that can make FOFAR be more explosive than Dogecoin? Inflation. Dogecoin is a highly inflationary coin. It's one of the reasons I don't hold it. I know it's not a very popular opinion, but I don't hold Dogecoin because it's so freaking inflationary. And I think that's suppressed, despite its large market cap growth, it has suppressed its token growth. FOFAR does not suffer from that at all. FOFAR has no inflation. In fact, there's a chance FOFAR is going to be deflationary. So if that happens, you could see explosive growth like what Dogecoin does, but on a much larger scale. Look at what Pepe's already done this cycle compared to how long it took Dogecoin to do what it did. You have to take that into account, into consideration, the effects of inflation. FOFAR has no inflation. That's what one of the things I love about it. Okay, this is not a video about Dogecoin. This is a video about FOFAR, but I just wanted to like bring that to your attention. So, you know, I think a reasonable target for the first leg up is between the 1.272 and 1.414. We could come back down like Dogecoin did. Maybe we test the 1. Maybe we even come all the way down to test the 618 or the 786. Either way, I'm not going to be panicking. I think the bull run still has room to run. And that's just a shakeout, folks. That's just a lot of profit taking, a shakeout, and then boom, it runs again. I would be looking to the 1.618 for a pretty major intermediate top. Could it be a cycle ending top? It could. I don't think it will be. I still think there's going to be another altcoin season later in 2025, even if this one does end within the first, few months of 2025, which is sort of my base case, while Bitcoin kind of does a whole lot of nothing for a little while. I think by the end of the year, we could be looking somewhere in this region, maybe even slightly higher. I don't know exactly where this is going to land and when it's going to land there, but I will say without inflation, things go a lot better. Okay. Things go a lot better without inflation. So that's good news for you if you're a FOFAR holder. You know, I think the sky's the limit with this one. It could go as high as a 250x, 300x if the stars align and we get a nice full bull run all the way into the end of 2025. Okay. And we're just getting started. Again, just look at this. Look at this, folks. Party is just getting started. I think, FOFAR is going to be around for a long time, and it's going to endure past this cycle and into future cycles. And it'll share some similarities, I think, with the Dogecoin chart, but just more exciting moves up because we don't have that freaking inflation to deal with. So yeah, those are my thoughts on FOFAR. If you want to grab some FOFAR, it's entirely up to you. I'll never tell you what you should or shouldn't do. That's not my job. I hold it, so of course I'm very passionate about it. But you should always do your own research. Never let any influencer including myself, tell you what you should or shouldn't buy. But you can buy FOFAR on Ethereum. You can check out our meme arcade. I'm going to be doing a live stream fairly soon, so we have some information on my YouTube channel and also on my Telegram about that. You have all their socials here. I'd encourage you to follow those. I'll put all the information in the video description so you can kind of make your mind up for yourself and what you think. I think right now, one other thing I want to show you on the chart before we go. So I have this risk indicator called the beam. I want to show this to you on a daily time frame because there's just more data. Ignore the chart for a minute. And this is sort of like how undervalued or overvalued an asset is. And FOFAR has never been overvalued. Look at this. Isn't this clear? Just accumulation, chop, just tightening, right? This is your bull. This is your bear, gravity. And now this is your sideways. Bull, bear, sideways, up. This is accumulation. So it's still a good time to buy FOFAR. If you've been on the sidelines, you're thinking about a time to buy, I don't think there's any better time to buy than now. I think that, when you start to get complacent and you think the crab trend is going to last forever, that's usually when the market leaves you behind. So again, you should do your own research and form your own opinion about what you think is most likely to happen. But that's just what I think is most likely to happen. And I'm going to stick to that until proven otherwise. So thank you for joining me for a very thorough and detailed FOFAR price analysis. I like to do these periodically just to kind of like have a little kumbaya moment for us all to kind of get on the same page and realize where we are in this cycle, where we're likely to be going. Thank you for joining me for Crypto Simulation Theory. If you enjoyed the content, please be sure to follow my YouTube channel and subscribe to my Twitter and also my Telegram. We do all kinds of updates in my Telegram. Also, check out the FOFAR link, subscribe to all their stuff. It's a fun place to be, fun community, clean contract. I've done so many videos on FOFAR. Like, just go check out my old videos, and you can see all that for yourself. I think this has gone on for long enough. So, yeah, that's all about it for me, and I'll see you again soon, right? On the other side of this crab trend, hopefully.